Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here. Go ahead and pull up a chair, get comfortable at your desk, and flip open that ninth grade biology textbook. Let's approach today's lesson just like we're standing together right in front of a bright, sunny whiteboard. Because today, well, we're going to completely change the way you look at biology. You know, we often think of science subjects as these neatly separated boxes. You've got biology in one box, chemistry in another, and math way over on the other side of the school. But the actual truth? Biology absolutely doesn't exist in a vacuum. It relies entirely on this massive interconnected web of all the other sciences. Here's a quick look at our lesson plan. Biology beyond the microscope, the chemical and physical rules, math, data, and geography, biotechnology and bioeconomics, and finally, the interconnected future. All right, let's dive right into section 1, biology beyond the microscope. First things first, we need to completely shatter the illusion that subjects like biology, chemistry, and physics live in isolated silos. They really, really don't. Take a look at the center of this diagram from your book. You see biology right there, acting as this central hub. And branching out from it, kind of like spokes on a bicycle wheel, are all these overlapping spheres. You've got chemistry linking to biochemistry, physics linking to biophysics, geography linking to biogeography. It's not just a list to memorize, it's a living network. To truly grasp how any living organism functions, you literally have to borrow tools from every single other scientific discipline. As our text points out, these connections help us understand life processes, environmental interactions, and the complexities of living organisms. And that makes sense, right? Life is just infinitely complex. A simple microscopic cell is somehow a chemical factory, a physical machine, and a data processing center all at the exact same time. Combining these sciences is really the only way we can even begin to understand it all. Moving on to section 2, the chemical and physical rules. Let's look at the first two major spokes on our scientific hub to see how the hard, fundamental rules of the universe apply directly to living, breathing systems. Imagine I'm writing this right on the whiteboard for you, so go ahead and jot this down in your notes. Biochemistry is defined as the study of the structure and reactions of chemical substances present in living systems. It's honestly exactly what it sounds like, taking the periodic table of elements and watching how those elements interact inside a plant, an animal, or, your own body. To ground this in something you definitely already know for your exams, let's look at two classic textbook examples. Think about photosynthesis in plants, or respiration, just the basic way we breathe and create energy. Those aren't just magical biological events. They're actually highly specific, complex chemical reactions happening literally millions of times a second. That right there, that's biochemistry in action. Now, shifting over to the physical side of things, biophysics deals with the study of the principles of physics which apply to biological processes. I absolutely love this one because it kind of forces us to look at living creatures as mechanical wonders. Gravity, force, thermodynamics, all these physical rules govern everything in the universe, and living bodies are absolutely no exception. So the crucial point here is that when we study biophysics, we're applying the physical rules of lever and motion to understand the function of muscles, bones, and joints. Actually, do this with me real quick. Just bend your arm at the elbow. Do you see it? You aren't just moving a biological limb, you're operating a highly complex physical lever. Your bone acts as the lever arm, your elbow joint is the fulcrum, and your bicep provides the force. It's pure, textbook physics happening right inside your biology. Okay, on to section 3, math, data, and geography. We're shifting away from the physical and chemical for a minute and moving into the analytical and locational sciences. First up is a field that sounds incredibly sci-fi but is absolutely essential today: computational biology. This is where scientists use mathematical models, algorithms, and computer simulations to understand biological systems and relationships. You see, biology has become so advanced that humans simply cannot process the sheer volume of data on our own anymore. We desperately need modern compute power to solve these puzzles. For example, think about analyzing biological data, like the sequence of amino acids in a protein. A single protein can be made of thousands of amino acids, all folded up into incredibly complex 3D shapes. Decoding that? Yeah, that's not a job for a microscope anymore. It's a job for advanced algorithms and supercomputers. It's a lot like cracking a massive cryptographic code just to figure out how a specific disease works or how a new cure might function. Closely related to that is biostatistics. This discipline deals with the principles of statistics to analyze and interpret data related to living organisms. While computational biology is often about building those digital models and simulations, biostatistics is looking at the cold, hard numbers. And that is vital for driving biological research, managing hospital systems, and protecting public health across massive populations. Let's draw a clear line down the middle of our whiteboard between these two so you don't mix them up in your notebook. Computational biology is all about the how, using mathematical models, algorithms, and simulations to mimic and understand complex biological systems. Biostatistics, on the other hand, is about the what, using statistical principles to analyze and interpret massive sets of data from the real world. They work together brilliantly, but they're definitely flexing different mathematical muscles. All right, let's step away from the numbers for a second and look at the map. Biogeography deals with the study of the distribution of living organisms in different geographical regions of the world. I mean, think about it. Why do polar bears only live in the Arctic? Or why are certain super unique bird species only found on specific isolated islands? You really can't answer those biological questions without having a solid grasp of geography. And here's why this field matters more today than ever before. The role of biogeography isn't just historical. It actively studies organism distribution today, and crucially, it tracks the influence of climate change on that distribution. As the Earth's climates rapidly shift, animal and plant populations are forced to move, adapt, or sadly, face extinction. Biogeography is the actual science mapping out that real-time struggle. Section 4, Biotechnology and Bioeconomics. You're doing so great following along, by the way. This is the final group of sciences on our hub, and these are particularly fascinating because they're highly applied, human-centric fields designed to solve real-world problems. Let's look at biotechnology, which deals with the use of living organisms or their components to develop beneficial products or processes. So this isn't just studying life to understand it. This is actually partnering with living organisms to make healthcare better, to improve our agriculture, and to manage our environment. Let's look directly at this excerpt from your book. This highlights exactly what we're talking about when it comes to biotechnology and bioeconomics. These are absolutely not just abstract whiteboard concepts. They have immediate, profound impacts on human lives every single day. Let's zoom in on the specific example they give for biotechnology. The text outlines a perfect step-by-step example of a biotechnologist's work. Step 1, they isolate beneficial bacteria. Step 2, they actually use or effectively program that bacteria to produce human insulin. And step 3, that insulin is gathered up and used to treat diabetic patients all over the world. By combining a deep understanding of biology with the processes of modern technology, we literally turn everyday bacteria into microscopic medicine factories that save millions of human lives. How cool is that? Finally, we've got to bring money and practical business into the biology classroom. Bioeconomics deals with the study of organisms from an economical point of view. Now, it might seem kind of strange to mix biology and economics, but out there in the real world, scientific progress has to be funded. Agricultural projects need to be financially sustainable if they're actually going to feed people on a large scale. Take a quick look at this simple table to see how this plays out in practice. If a biological project is the production of a new variety of crops, let's say a special wheat strain that resists drought, well, the economic analysis requires scientists to calculate and compare the cost of developing that crop against the potential profit and overall yield. Bioeconomics ensures that our big biological breakthroughs actually make practical sense in the real-world marketplace. And that brings us to Section 5, the interconnected future. Fantastic job today. We've completely dismantled the old idea that biology just sits alone in the dark. We've seen how it relies heavily on the chemical reactions of biochemistry, the physical levers of biophysics, the massive data models of computation, the global maps of biogeography, and the incredibly practical applications of biotechnology and bioeconomics. So I want to leave you with this final, lingering thought as you close your notebook today. If understanding life genuinely requires a firm grasp of physics, chemistry, math, geography, and economics, which interconnected science will you use to solve tomorrow's biggest problems? Keep learning, best of luck with your studies, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.